My name is Lujain. I'm a Saudi prisoner. I'm 29 years old and I've been detained for more than 200 days. Do you want to know why? Because I express my views in a country where thoughts can be deadly. I fought for all women to have the right to drive. I fought for women's rights in my country. You might have read the reports from Amnesty International. They accuse the Saudi government of torturing activists. I know these prisoners' stories so well because I'm one of them.
I've witnessed horrific things. Activists, including women like me who fought for the right to drive, have been tortured, beaten, and sexually assaulted by Saudi prison officers. We have been lashed and we have been electrocuted. The torture is so bad that it's even resulted in some of us becoming disabled from the injuries. One of us has even tried to commit suicide several times.
You might be wondering how I ended up in jail. I went to school in Canada. I traveled a lot. I learned about all the rights we didn't have in Saudi Arabia, like freedom of speech and equality between men and women. For over a decade, I have been protesting against the women's driving ban in my country. But anyone who opposes the government is silenced. And now, we're in prison. I could be facing up to 20 years behind bars.
I'll never forget the time I got behind the wheel with my father beside me. It was a simple protest and I felt so determined to end male guardianship and fight for women's rights. But that opened the floodgates of hate towards me and I got a lot of abuse. I wasn't scared though, I was more determined. In 2014, I used a loophole in the law to drive my car from the United Arab Emirates, where I was living, into Saudi Arabia. I remember the shocked expression on the faces of the Saudi border guards when they saw my Emirati driver's license. There was no law against me using that license to enter Saudi Arabia, but I was arrested and jailed in Saudi Arabia for 73 days.
I learned a lot when I was in prison, and I was so inspired by other female prisoners. And I left prison intending to continue trying to reform my society. I was the first woman who applied to become a candidate for the local council elections in 2015, the first time women were allowed to run. My application was refused, of course. I appealed the decision and won, but my case has been held up since then. I went back to the United Arab Emirates, but the authorities there deported me back to Saudi Arabia in 2017.
In May 2018, a massive campaign against me and all women activists fighting for women's rights and the right to drive resulted in our arrest. We were slandered and accused of treason. A few days later, a royal decree was issued allowing women to drive, but we're still in prison. Some think that Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman is a reformist for overturning the driving ban in June 2018. But he took the credit for the hard work we put in for equal rights. The reality is different.
My husband is a comedian who also tried to stand up for human rights. He was abducted in Jordan and brought back to Saudi Arabia, and then sadly divorced me after being put under tremendous pressure. I thought that my country's new leadership would be exceptional.
I believed change and reform would come.
But I'm still speaking to you from my prison.
I'm still waiting for change.